Hey, it's gonna show something else that I do. So I get paid, my big paycheck happens in the middle of the month, um, which was confusing for me for budgeting. Yes, need to take that out to my toolbox. Toolbox. Okay. Whoops. So, okay. Boom. I get paid on the 15th, but if it falls on the weekend, then I get paid whatever day before. So if the 15th is on a Sunday, I would get paid that Friday. So it makes it hard to start a budget in the beginning of the month when most of the big spendy things happen on the 15th. What I was thinking about doing was saving up money in my regular savings account so that I can have, for example, my bills, that's fine. They can get paid in the middle of the month, that's fine. But my cash, I would kind of like to be able to get enough cash saved so that I disperse it to myself on the 1st and then pay it back on the 15th. But that's still a little ways out. So what I do in the meantime, So, for example, my food is $200. I give myself $100 to get me from the 15th to the 1st. And then the next $100, so it kind of pays into next month. The next $100 is to get me to the 15th. And then, let's see, what's another thing that is cash? These ones, I just disperse it. They don't get pulled out at any particular order, but like the main one, because food, that one's kind of hard. And then my rent, I pay like 15 days before it's due, in essence. So I pull this money out and pay my rent, and rather than trying to hold on to it. When I was first starting this cash system, I was running out of money by the 1st of the month, so I was like, I'm just gonna have to pay you as soon as I get paid, so that I know that will get paid. What I do now that it's coming up at the 1st of the month, oops, I'm trying to make the screen smaller, is I go through my budget, my actual, what I have left over. Because I am a very tactile person. I need to touch it in order for it to make sense. So, this is where I shoved the garden stuff. It was, $150 when I left today. Then I spent $58.26. I have a coin purse in this, coin thing in this wallet. I can see this little metal thing. There's like a coin thing there. All of the coins just go in there. If I need change, it's give a penny, take a penny for all of my budget items. I'm not really super worried about it. It's not like it's a business that I need to keep track of every penny. But, and I frequently end up paying myself back for things. So I still have my $50. And 1, 2 plus 20, so that's $91 left in my garden stuff. So this is just kind of what I do. I just go through on the 1st and the 15th and check and see what I had. Garden stuff, that's a rollover. Whatever I have left. I think since it's garden season, I'll just keep it in my wallet, so I just grab that instead of putting it back in. I've got my little garden fun tin. So I think that's where I'll shove it all winter long, so because I won't need to have it on me. The next spot is food. So I put my second part of the budget $100 bill behind, so that I know that it's not part of what I'm supposed to be spending. And then I go through and I check and see how much money I have. So I've got 100, 10, 20, 30, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. $135. So that means $35 less than I budgeted for was spent. Oh my gosh. Oh, I'm gonna have to put that in when I'm not on the camera. I don't think that my brain will let me do that. Okay, go in the slot. You can do it. Okay, so there's the money. Personal, there's nothing in there. I bought some stuff and basically paid the grocery back with that. And then up here is where the critter money is. Critters. So I had $86 when I headed out. And I pulled the money that I had in a tin. I had a tin that I throw the extra in. So I'm not carrying around a bazillion dollars of cash. Not like I've ever had a bazillion dollars at any given time. Anyway. So after I spent the money that I spent, I still have $30 left, which is good. You put that back in there. And I bought something at a grocery store, and I had to pay that back to the grocery. I don't remember. But anyway. So yeah, at the 1st and the 15th, I both sets I go through and double check where I'm at with life in my basic generic. I have no idea. That might be upside down. Famango? I don't know. No idea. It's just a cheapo wallet that I found at our local drugstore. It did what I wanted it to do, which is like hold money and have a coin slot. Water. I don't know why I still have this thing. I can get rid of that. So I've got these groovy little yellow thingies now. I need to figure out a way to get this thing to stick better. This one's fine. I think because it's got more pleather to stick to. I don't know. Anyway, so that's what I do. I just kind of check in every now and then. Keeps it in the front of my brain. Lets me know how much money I have. I also double count money before I go into the store. So that if I'm doing things on cash, it's not like I can swipe a card. I need to have the money in my pocket, basically. So, even with my allowance money, this is my walking around wallet. Even with my allowance money, if I'm going into a junk food, I think it's G-Dunk, like a junk food place, what do you call them, convenience stores, like I'll count the money that's in my pocket before I even go in, so that I don't have to deal with I gotta put something back. Another thing that I do when I grocery shop is I keep track of everything that's going into my cart. So how much carrots are, how much hemp. It was hemp hearts, not hemp. Just so you know, I mean, I do live in Oregon. So I made a grocery list before I headed out. And I checked a couple places. Ended up spending. In fact, this is the grocery haul that I posted. That was crazy expensive. So then, on the other side, I kept track of how much things cost as I went through. So when I looked at the cheese, and it was $4 for the cheapest stuff, and I was like, no. What was the thing that was happening? The spinach was expensive. The creamer, I think I ended up buying the creamer there. Spinach was expensive. Olive oil was okay. There were a lot of things that were too expensive. Anything that had to do with vegetables, The eggs were expensive. It was like $3 for a dozen eggs, and those weren't even like the good ones. Those were like the not caged, but still in a covered area with 500 other chickens, sort of thing. And so I went to another store and I got 2.5 dozen eggs for $3. So it was considerably better. And the cheese was $2 and $3. I think it was $2 for the cheese. That was comparable to $4 over here. So yeah, the lettuce was cheap. Well, the lettuce, that was kind of expensive for 4 heads of lettuce or something like that. But anyway, so that's kind of how things go. You just keep track of things. That way, when you find that you don't have enough money, you have a list. You have a list that you can, well, I need $3 taken off. Okay, well, I can find this cheese that was $3. Do I need the eggs? Yes, the eggs were a good deal, but the cheese, not necessary. So that's kind of what goes on. And anyway, so you count your money before you go in. Mark the prices as you shop. And that's kind of my grocery tips. Still learning. Not a rule, not a law, just kind of my tips on how I get through things. Anyway, all right. Cheers.